Speaker 1.
I think the most valuable lesson anyone has ever taught me was when I was about 25. I was getting really frustrated with the guy I was working with. We'd set up our own web design business and Giles, that was the name of my business partner, would always get lost in little details and take ages making a first design to show the customer. And my dad said, "Look, you can't change other people. You can only change the way you behave towards them." So I accepted that was just Giles's way, that he loved the little details, and I tried to think of it as a positive thing. And we've got on so much better ever since and worked much more effectively. So that's become a sort of guiding principle for me in life, not to try to change others. And I have to say, it stood me in very good stead.
Speaker 2.
Here's a good rule of thumb. Don't come to blows over small things. But it's a lot easier said than done. The number of times I've sent off an angry email without thinking about the consequences, or got upset because something wasn't done the way I wanted it to be done, you'd think I'd have learnt my lesson. The other day, my friend John asked for my help writing a job application, and I told him the letter he had written was much too informal. He didn't agree, and I ended up getting really frustrated and shouting at him. He didn't talk to me for days afterwards. I feel really ashamed when I think about it. Now, I always make a point of not reacting too quickly to things I disagree with.
So let's start by considering these descriptions of people. Oh, John, he's a family man. Sarah's an anthropologist. She spent most of her life studying apes in Africa. Frank's a keen coin collector. He's been collecting coins since he was a boy. Jack is one of life's drifters. He will have been just about everywhere by the time he's 60. Anne's a committed animal rights campaigner. That came as a shock to her friends because she had never even owned a pet before she joined the Animal Defence League. We define each person by a different criterion: their interests, their profession, their outlook on life, or by their values, like the importance of family for John, and their beliefs. So, which of these things is it that really defines a person? What if we asked the same question about a 6-year-old child? Well, you'd actually say that what defined them first and foremost are the common factors that make them a child: being curious about the world, often playful, a bit vulnerable, maybe. In 10 years, that child will have become a teenager. And teenagers, of course, share certain defining characteristics too. They tend to be quite self-centred and moody. Often they're angry at the world. And because they're not sure of what their identity is, they define themselves by what they are not, and by the things they dislike. "But, Mum, I don't want to go to technical college. I hate maths." Now, let's look again at the adults we described at first. John, our family man, has a job as a carpet salesman, which is okay. It's a job, and it keeps him and his family comfortable. He had an opportunity to run his own business at one point, but he decided job security was more important. His real passion is his family and spending time with his 2 boys. Sarah, the anthropologist, on the other hand, lives for her work. She's visited Central Africa many times to study bonobo apes and is fascinated by their social behaviour. Jack, the drifter, has been doing bits and pieces of carpentry and building work. He loves travelling and experiencing different environments, so he picks up work as and when he can. He fell in love when he was 25, but the relationship ended and he hasn't committed to anyone else since. So we can see that what defines each of these people in the end is their life experiences. It could be within their job, or interests, or relationships that these occurred, but it's the experiences themselves that shape each of us as individuals. So when someone asks you, "What do?" they are looking to find out.
OK, Katie, so tell me about yourself.
OK, so I'm Katie. I'm 24 years old and I'm a very active person. I don't just mean that I play a lot of sports, although I do run and go to the gym several times a week. What I mean is that I'm a person who likes to get involved in things. I've organised a lot of social events in my life and I've been part of a lot of campaigns. A recent one was campaigning against the building of a new car park in the centre of my hometown. And that was successful, actually. We got it stopped, or at least delayed. So, excuse me, I'll just take a sip of water. Yes, so, as I was saying, I'm a firm believer in taking action. I don't think it's enough to want to change things and to say the right things. I think you have to act, to get out of your chair and do something that makes a difference.
And your current situation?
Well, I graduated from university 2 years ago with a degree in journalism, but I haven't been able to find a job that really suited me. To be honest, newspapers aren't an easy world to break into, unless you have the right contacts. So instead, I decided on a fresh approach, which was to seek out companies I admire, basically any company or organisation that's working for some positive good in society. And that's how I found you. And my hope is that when I find the right company, they'll see that I have the right attitude and the right skills so that we can both benefit from working together. Yeah, I think...